When people make you feel like if you say no, it's a problem, that's manipulation. How I felt about something, I felt like, okay, I gotta have all these things, all these reasons, and he would do stuff like, oh, remind me of a time that happened. Nah, that don't count. That was like, but it's like, you know that things have happened many times. It's like someone invalidating how you feel. Yes. I feel like it starts with like being comfortable, like just standing on your nose. And it's just like, no, I don't want to do this.
I really feel like it just goes back to boundaries. Like, I feel like manipulators, they like to play a mind game with you. Like, they're willing to spit out a whole bunch of lies or try to twist your mind to make you feel confused so that they could get their way. And that's a way you can really catch manipulators easy. You really have to listen to people talk. A lot of people tell on themselves.
Yeah. And the gaslighting, the people pleasing, the manipulating, they're narrating you, and they're like, it's like you're being held like a puppet. Because I'm a person where like, I love to give and I'll just continue to give. And then when I look back at like, what have I done for myself? What progress have I made for myself? I'll say I didn't make any progress for myself, but everybody else has got what they wanted. We have to set a standard for our lives and continue to stick in that standard. So with people pleasing, it's not really beneficial for both parties. It's only beneficial for one. Hey.
Wait on.
Oh yeah.
The GP. Hey. You know how I be? Yeah. When I'm riding in my groin and my feet. Yeah. That is Louis on my feet. When I kick, then I walk, and I hit like this.
You're not no
Yanni, your beat is
You're talking about
You're talking about some chomp. Stomp.
A real freestyler can go on that beat.
Yanni, that was not a beat.
Right.
It was
Just
something.
That sounds like a 5-year-old going pitter-patter.
Sound like you throwing a fit.
With their feet.
Do. So you're telling me if a song come on, it's talking about some do. You wouldn't be like, oh, this hard?
You was not. That sounded like do.
That's do.
No, Yanni.
Do.
All right, now
okay,
let's
more
get
energy,
started.
more passion, more energy.
More passion, more energy. You know how I finna be. Yeah. When I win up, then I kin up.
Yeah.
And my kin up.
What?
Yeah.
Got the kin up. Yeah. We finna go up.
Yeah.
About to show up. Yeah. And you know of.
And you know us. Yeah, you know us.
Why did you get off track? I was going to say something after that. I was going to be like, I'm drinking that syrup. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, my bad.
Don't be drinking
My bad.
Bro, you gotta repent.
Bro, I was talking about maple syrup.
Who's just drinking maple syrup?
Y'all not allowed
You
to.
never did that ever in your whole entire life.
I'm drinking that syrup. Yeah.
You gotta repent.
Go ahead.
What's good, y'all? Welcome to Growing Painz podcast, where we talk about business
up?
and the life of a young adult. I'm Tre'Vion.
And I'm Yanni.
Hey, y'all. I'm Jada.
And this is Growing Painz
Look,
podcast.
we don't throw up the peace sign every time. The heck?
So, right now, we've been talking about a little essay. We've been talking about a little essay. We've been talking about what's so funny.
Bro, you're ugly.
We've been talking about
That's little brother energy right there.
Like what? It's giving me go bun for bun.
Y'all ugly as heck.
Yo.
For real. Y'all ugly.
All right, we've been talking about manipulation. So
Yes. And people pleasing.
yeah, people pleasing too, because
All of that.
Lord knows I struggle with that. Communication and
Oh,
people
man.
pleasing, that is my top thing.
You gotta say up until now.
Okay, yes.
That's something
up until
I've
now.
learned.
That is
Up until
yes.
now, I've struggled with people pleasing.
That part.
And communication.
Yes.
Yes. I
Because
agree.
after now, never again.
Ever.
Ever.
Yeah. Have
Well, you
y'all
gotta
ever
come into agreement.
I am
Exactly.
Okay, good.
Have y'all ever been manipulated?
I have.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, we could go bun for bun.
Why you saying it like it's a joke? Okay. But yeah, definitely though, for sure.
I have too.
Plenty of times.
Me too.
Okay, so let's talk about our
Have you?
experience. Oh, y'all want to break down what manipulation is for real before we?
Well, yeah, because honestly, I feel like I'm just now, after me going through it, I feel like I'm just now realizing what manipulation is.
Yeah.
Before we get the definition, how do y'all define it as in a quick and short answer? Not a long
I feel like
story.
a long paragraph story. I feel like manipulation, simply put, is somebody doing what they have to do to get their way.
Yeah, I feel like it's basically okay, from my point of view, I feel like when you manipulate someone, you're basically trying to get them to do what you want them to do. So, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I would say definitely getting your way and doing things that makes the other person forget.
Oh, that's
like,
gaslighting.
Yeah.
Gaslighting.
Or that's gaslighting? Okay.
But that's how that's a part of manipulating.
Got it.
Yeah.
But yeah, basically what y'all said, like, making people like doing things in order to get your way.
And I feel like it's easy to be manipulated if you are someone that's struggled with people pleasing.
For sure.
Really, I feel like it's easy to be manipulated when you care too much about like what people think over what God thinks. I think it's easy to be manipulated if
you don't have discernment.
Yes, that part. I feel like if you don't know who you are, like who God says you are, who you are, I feel like it's easy to be manipulated.
And also, I feel like it's easy to be manipulated, always giving somebody the benefit of the doubt.
Yes.
Because people a lot of times take your kindness for weakness.
That part.
No, for sure. And I think with taking your kindness for weakness, it's I feel as though people who have been manipulated or people pleased, we tend to look for the good in someone. What's the best thing that I can say to let this person in my life again or let them try me again? What did Loaf say? Let a ninja try me.
It's crazy that you said that because I was looking at one of our episodes we did I think it was like last month. Oh, it was the one we were talking about good traits about ourselves, characteristics about ourselves. And I realized I was like, one of my good traits is I overlook red flags. Girl, what? That means you're easy to be manipulated. And I was like, that is not a good trait. So when you said that, I'm like, I'm real just now realizing what actually being manipulated is.
Real quick. If you're not subscribed to the channel, what are you doing? Tap in,
twin. Take a 5-second break and go subscribe.
Exactly. We got so much on our channel, y'all. We got vlogs, we got challenges, we got silent library, we got everything. So what are you doing? Go subscribe right now.
What are you doing?
Go
subscribe.
Go stand on business.
Stand on business, yeah.
Let's get back into the episode.
No,
be like
for
John
sure.
Cena in that thing. You can't see me.
Literally.
Not no more though.
I've had conversations though with my mom and other people close to me in my life about this though, and they feel like me dealing with so much manipulation previously in my life. I feel like it's because it starts at home. I feel like starting with my dad, it would be things to where and I love my dad, but it would be things that would happen to where, I try and speak up for myself. And I guess that then the gaslighting would come in. So it's just he would have me feeling like I'm tripping or just make me feel bad. But yeah, I feel like my dad has definitely tried to manipulate me in a few ways. And I don't know if it's intentional or more just so it's just who he is. But it felt like, if I say no, I don't want to do something, that's not always okay. Or it's well, I want you to do what I want. It doesn't matter what you want. Even I'll say a recent example, something that he had did one time when he came out here to Atlanta. What happened? I had orders to do for a client. And he was I was seeing him every day though while he was out here. But the last day I was well, I really needed this focus on working the whole day on my client stuff because it needs to be shipped out ASAP. And he was like, well, if you don't spend the day with me, then I'm never going to come see you again. And it's like, even then at that moment, I didn't even realize, oh, that's manipulation. So I was like, okay, fine. Like, I won't do my client stuff. Client stuff didn't end up getting shipped out. And now my client's like mad at me. But it's like, oh, at least my dad is happy, you know, because he got to see me. Yeah. But I think it started at home and then progressed into relationships. And I felt like I was always somebody up until now. Because if you try that now, it's not going to work. But up until now, I feel like it was always hard for me to spot. Oh, thanks. Sorry, y'all.
I'm just trying to tell y'all discreetly. She'd be like, oh, thanks.
I know. She's like, oh, thanks. I have something right here.
My lipstick stay getting on my teeth. But
I was going to wait until after.
But yeah, I feel like, manipulation was always hard for me to see. And that's something I used to always ask God about, like discernment, basically. Like, God, show me when I'm being manipulated, because it just felt like I really could not tell. But now the light is on and I could see like, oh, this person is trying to manipulate me. But I definitely think it started at home and then followed me in my other relationships for sure.
Nah, for sure. You were gonna say
No, I was gonna say the definition. I guess what?
The definition? Go ahead.
Did you pull up or you want me to?
Yeah, so I had it too.
Okay.
The exercise of harmful influence over others. And yeah, that was the main one.
Okay.
So basically it was similar to what you said.
Okay.
But yeah, so one thing that brought me to Jada is it definitely all starts at home and the people that's in your village and stuff like that. And they might not be aware of it neither because they have gone through the same thing. The prime example is, you know, you go to a family event and you don't want to hug somebody they're a family member, but you don't want to hug them. And your parent or whoever you may be with maybe say, go ahead and give them a hug. And it's like the child clearly doesn't want to give them a hug. Unc is a pedophile touching on pum pum and all this stuff. And you want the child to hug them and they already don't feel secure or feel that safety net. And so that starts to lead into other things. You feel me? So I feel like those things, like that even brings me to when me and my brother went to an event, there were other kids there. And I'm like, you know, why you not playing with them and stuff? And I didn't want to force him and be like, go play with these kids. Like, I just asked him, like, what's wrong? Like, what's going on? Do you not want to be here? Are you bored? And he was just like, I just don't have nothing in common with them. They're a little bit younger than me. I like want to talk to people that's my age and that I could relate to. And I'm glad that I didn't just be like, yo, go play with them kids right now. Cause it's like you're forcing somebody for something that they clearly do not resonate with. And we have to be able to, in childhood, you have to be able to let children be able to express themselves in the ways that they desire, because they're a human just like you are. Like, you wouldn't tell your boss, oh, go do this right now. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you have to give people leadway to make their own decisions and see what areas they're comfortable in.
That part, like, manipulation honestly starts with not being comfortable to stand on your boundaries or feeling comfortable to set boundaries, you know? When people make you feel like, oh, well, if you say no, it's a problem, that's manipulation. And it took me realizing that in certain relationships, when it got to a point that, oh, I'm actually like nervous about saying no, because I'm thinking, oh, well, if I say no, they're going to try and tell me this, like, if I like, oh my God, it's just so much coming to my mind right now. But yeah, it's been plenty of instances in relationships where I want to tell the person, well, no, I don't want to do this anymore. But I already know they're going to have a rebuttal. And at first I used to think about it like, oh, well, they're going to try and go back and forth with me. And it's like, no, girl, they're trying to manipulate you into turning that no into a yes. So in my head, I'm already preparing like, okay, this is what I'm going to say back. These are going to be my reasons. Like, I'm feeling like I have to defend my no, when honestly my no was just no from the jump. And so it's just like, even like growing up with my dad, I felt the same way. When I wanted to prepare to talk to my dad about something or how I felt about something, I felt like, okay, I got to have all these things, all these reasons. And he would do stuff like, oh, remind me of a time that happened. And then I'll try and have like at least one memory. He'd be like, nah, that don't count. That was all the
that's
way
that
in.
gaslighting.
Remind me of something else. And then it's like, but it's like, you know that things have happened many times. But in that moment when it's like someone invalidating how you feel.
Yes.
And so it's just like, it does, I feel like it starts with like being comfortable, like just standing on your nose. And it's just like, no, I don't want to do this.
Yeah, for sure.
And I would definitely say I have witnessed it happen, like manipulation growing up, literally seeing it happen, like growing up as a child. So like, and the thing is, I really feel like it just goes back to boundaries. Like, when you say no, or you're standing on something and somebody's trying to make you feel bad for standing on your boundary, or trying to make you feel confused on why you're staying on that boundary. Really, like, I feel like manipulators, they like to play a mind game with you. Like, they're willing to like spit out a whole bunch of lies or try to twist your mind to make you feel confused so that they could get their way, or they're willing to just tell you whatever so that it can happen. But the reason you can keep that from happening is literally standing on your boundary. If you say no and somebody's trying to be like, oh, well, woo-de-woo, just trying to make you feel bad, why are you just not respecting my no? Why are you just not respecting what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And that's a way you can really catch manipulators easy. You really have to listen to people talk. A lot of people tell on themselves.
Yeah.
So if you realize every time you tell somebody you can't, or every time you tell somebody, like, give somebody a boundary and they don't respect it, you have to listen. Like, listen, what are they saying? Do they react out of anger? Are they saying, oh, well, I'm not going to be your friend no more if you don't do this? Are they
trying to make you feel bad? Or
guilty? Exactly. Like, manipulators like to, like, because I've also witnessed this with a friend. Like, they would say, like, well, if you don't do this, like, I'm not going to be your friend. But I was really young, so I was like, oh, okay, I'll just do it because, like, this person can be my friend. But now I realized that was a form of manipulation. Yeah. So, yeah.
Oh, definitely.
Do y'all believe that just as human beings, we all tend to manipulate or have narcissistic traits, and some people's are just more intense than others? Because in a sense, I feel as though we all do things to get our way.
Yeah, like if you're negotiating for something in business, like that's a good point. It's like in some areas of our lives, we can't always be trying to get our way. But I don't know.
And I feel as though the best way to categorize it is manipulation, but it's not a severity of it. Like, yeah,
like some people are actual manipulators who do this on a regular, for sure, who are constantly gaslighting. And some people, I think maybe you may have an instance where it's like, oh, your friend, you want to do something, your friend wants to do something else, and you may be like, come on, da 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 da. If you catch yourself and be like, oh, okay, let me actually respect their boundaries. It's like, maybe, I don't know if I would still call that manipulation.
Yeah, I feel like it's some people that operate in manipulation, and it's some people that, I guess, because like in business, sometimes when you are trying to persuade somebody, or you want your price, or maybe you want to bring a price down, that is a form of manipulation. But there's some people that actually operate in manipulation, where they're willing to manipulate every single area of their lives.
Sure.
But I do agree that in some way, shape, or form, we all manipulate here or there. It's just some is worse than others.
Yeah, for sure. And that's why I said it's the severity of it, how intense it is. Because some people, they do it to the form where it's almost a sickness or like a mental issue, and it starts to get really crazy. Like, it starts to turn into envy. It starts to turn into other things that isn't just ideal to what the normal character traits of a person should be.
No, like, definitely.
Of course, you're gonna, in a business meeting, somebody may ask you your price. You may say a higher price just to start off, and then work down to the price that you originally had in mind. That's like, it's manipulation, but it's not a severe sign of it. You get what I'm saying? So somebody had comment like, what are the signs of manipulation, which we kind of already talked about, but like, how do you know when to cut it off?
How to know when to cut it off, or how do you know when it's well, I guess when you know it's happening, that's when you should cut it off.
But that's not as
Clear.
That's not that easy to say. Like once you know it's happening.
Yeah, I feel like cutting it off. No, I feel like cutting. I feel like signs of it happening and cutting it off. It depends, like how deep the relationship has gone, or like if it's your parent, or if it's somebody close to you. So cutting it off, I feel like it's different strategies depending on how the relationship is. But I'll say signs of manipulation happening is, I feel like look at the heart of the person. So like there's a root why we all do what we do, right? So if you're in a relationship, in a friendship or whatever, and you realize, like for instance, Jada, she said that, you know, she was saying how she had an order to do, and you were saying your dad was like, oh, well, if you don't come see me, then I'm never coming out here to see you again. Like that's a form of manipulation. That was a sign. And the way you could see that is the heart posture. The heart posture was willing to say, I'd rather you suffer in your business for you to come fulfill what I want.
Exactly.
Like looking at the heart posture, looking at the root of what people are saying. Are you willing for me? You're so willing for me to suffer on my end just so I can fulfill what you want.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like relationships and friendships, it's supposed to be giving. It's supposed to be, you know what I'm saying, loving. You know, love is kind, love is patient. That's what the Bible says. So if you realize, okay, this sign, the fruits of this person is very much envy. It's very much selfish. Like that's selfish for you to do. Definitely. And that's a sign of manipulation.
Yeah, and I would say, it's so much stuff I really want to say.
You don't have if it includes other people, I understand that, but you probably don't.
I mean, it's always going to include other people if you're being manipulated, but I'm going to still speak on something else, but it's a story I do want to tell about a relationship without actually like going into detail. But anyway, so I think as far as cutting it off, cutting off manipulation, I think that it can be really hard. I feel like for me, I really had to go through some deliverance for real in order to come out of just being manipulated in general. Because I feel like, I don't know, it's just something I've dealt with like forever. And so what made me come out of like this mindset of being able to be easily manipulated was, it was like a sequence of things happening like back to back over a couple of days. And I was watching this show called Baby Reindeer. And I'm watching this show, and in the show, this guy is being manipulated and he's being like sexually abused and he's being stalked. And I'm watching this show and I'm like, dang, this is so sad. And I'm like, you know, when you yelling at the TV, like, don't do that. Like, like, don't do that. Like, you're being stupid. Like, please do not go back. And I'm watching the show, and then he gets to a point to where he's like, he says, like, how low is my self-respect? How low is my confidence? For me to basically keep going back to the same abuse, for me to keep going back to the same thing, for me to keep going back to this, like, this toxic thing, this manipulation, like, how low is your self-respect? And it made me so sad for him. And then it was just like, I had this whole revelation, and I was like, dang, girl, you should be sad for yourself. Like, I was crying, bruh, because I was like, dang, you really have been manipulated so much. And I feel like in the instant, I finally saw all the moments in my life where I had been manipulated. And I remember I used to always like talk to God about that. And I would be like, God, just show me, like, make it clearer. Like, I want to be able to see when I'm being manipulated. But finally in this moment, like, I could finally see, like, oh shoot, like, I am being manipulated. Or, you know, I could just see all the times in the past that I was manipulated. And it just made me feel like never again. Like, never again will I let somebody treat me that way, you know? And I think so to go back to the point of, like, how do you cut it off? I think that one, you have to be aware. Two, you have to be strong enough to leave the situation. I spent like a while trying to get out of a relationship, like a while. And I remember at one point, like I moved out and then I moved back in and then I moved out again.
Yeah.
But me moving out was like the first step, and that took so much strength. That took a lot for me to actually be able to move out, but it also requires you actually developing some confidence, some self-love, and some self-respect for you to actually be able to leave manipulation. If you don't love yourself, you will let people treat you any type of way. If you have no respect for yourself, you will let people treat you any type of way. If you have no confidence, bruh, like people can come in and treat you like dirt and you will allow it. And I feel like that's what I had been allowing for so long. And your self-image, like I had always viewed myself as so low. And I won't say always, but for a good chunk of like my past years, I viewed myself so low that I allow people to treat me however. And so I feel like in order to cut off somebody that is manipulating you, you have to develop some strength in those areas.
Yeah.
Like you have to become stronger and start loving yourself, because even though it was like, oh, I didn't love myself a whole lot in that instance when I first moved out, that was my first way of showing myself I love you enough to take you out of this situation, you know? So it's like, it starts by like taking baby steps and building in those areas, growing in those areas. And eventually I feel like it'll finally snap. And it's like, okay, I'm not allowing this no more. Hey y'all, what's up? I know you're enjoying the episode, but real quick, we wanted to take a second to talk to y'all.
Hey, pull out your phones right now and text the word GPCREW to the number down below. Let's get it.
Go do that right now. You're going to get updates about new drops, events, and so much more.
And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Now let me get back behind the camera. Let's get it.
For sure. Yeah, the one thing that I've learned about manipulation is, in a sense, it all goes hand in hand. The gaslighting, the people pleasing, the person who's manipulating, they're narrating you, and they're like, it's like you're being held like a puppet, and like they're pulling the strings of, no, you're gonna do this, and you're just dancing like a puppet, like go puppet go. Like, you feel me? And so I know that I deal with like people pleasing, and I know that has effect on me based off of my self-image. And I know that with my self-image, you have to value yourself enough more in order to realize that you don't have to show up for every single person in the way that they always expect you to. You know what I'm saying? Some things you need to, because I'm a person where like I love to give, and I'll just continue to give. And then when I look back at like, what have I done for myself? What progress have I made for myself? I'll say I didn't make any progress for myself, but everybody else has got what they wanted. And so I just realized that I have to take more time to answer things and give people a response. It don't have to be an immediate response in the moment. And even if somebody tests you to give them a response right away, you have to stand your ground, and you have to be open to letting them know, like, no, the same way you will operate differently if somebody's requesting for you to do something, you have to give me that space and time to figure out if this is even something that I want to commit to. So with the people pleasing, you have to realize that it's not a good spirit. It's not a spirit of God. It's not a spirit of self gratification or any of that sort, because yes, you're serving, yes, you're doing other things for other people, but the only person who is benefiting is the person who is being of service, like the person who is being served. That's the only person who's getting benefits from it. And when you are building a relationship with somebody, it should be equally yoked. It should be both parties are getting something from what they needed. Like, I've seen relationships where people have literally like held somebody like a puppet string, like, oh no, you're gonna do this, you're gonna come with me here, you're gonna do that. And it's like, that's how people get in cults. That's how people get into places and doing things that they don't want to do. Relationships, like somebody may be wanting to do a threesome or something like that, and it's like the one person may not want to have done it, but let's say it's more so the man have wanted that, and it's like the woman didn't want that. Or like maybe in a friendship, like your one friend, they have a ton of time on their hands, but you are in a whole nother place. You're in a whole nother season. You're doing what you have to do to reach your goals. But this one person is expecting and demanding for you to give them that care, give them that time. And yes, you can spend time with them. You can show up for them, but you can't always be available. You can't always be accessible to people because you have to still show up for you. You still have to self-gratify yourself. And not, when I say self-gratify, I don't mean doing things just because, I want my way, because we can't always have our way. We have to set a standard for our lives and continue to stick in that standard. So with people pleasing, it's not really beneficial for both parties. It's only beneficial for one.
That's real. And real quick, I want to give the Bible verse, and I guess we can go ahead and make it make sense. 1 Corinthians 13, 4-8. And as I read this, I want you guys to think of that relationship where you feel like you're getting manipulated, and ask yourselves if they have these fruits of the Spirit. So it says, love is patient, love is kind, it does not envy, it does not boast, it is not proud, it does not dishonor others, it is not self-seeking, it is not easily angered, it keeps no record of wrongs, love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth, it always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always preserves, love never fails. So if you feel like that relationship you're in, if you feel like that person is always prideful in that relationship, that is not love. If you feel like you're in a relationship with somebody and they are always getting easily triggered by everything you do, that is not love. If you feel like you're in a relationship with somebody and all they do is take, they're a mosquito to your life, that
Sucking all the blood out.
That is self-seeking. That is not love. Yeah. So go through this Bible verse and really like meditate on it, because you do not have to keep yourself in a relationship where you feel like a relationship, whatever it is, where you feel like you're getting manipulated. Because 9 times out of 10, when somebody is in a relationship or friendship, I guess family would be kind of different because that's your blood. But in a relationship or friendship where they feel like they're getting manipulated, 9 times out of 10 is they feel like they can't get somebody better, or they can't get another friendship, or they don't want to rebuild. But God will replace it. God will replace it. God is not calling you to stay in a dry place where you're getting everything sucked out of you. Like, God is calling you. God will call you higher. So, be willing to drop this relationship where they're taking from you. Really, all it's doing is taking from you. Like, if you feel like you're in this relationship and you're just like, oh, well, they do this and they're a good person. Okay, well, it's not beneficial to you. Like, it's an unequally yoked relationship or friendship. And you have to think long-term with your friendships. You have to think long-term. Is this person you're with, this friendship you're with? Because everything that they have is going to rub off on you. So, yeah, just meditate on that and free yourself from these manipulative relationships, because we not getting nothing sucked out of us in 2024 and moving forward. So
could it have ended it better? Myself?
God did.
Like that.
For sure, niece.
Everything she said, 100% agree.
Amen.
For sure.
Okay, so let's get into Make It Make Sense, where we give young advice. Where we give advice to young adults going through life. Okay, so the question we have is it rude to ignore phone calls because I don't feel like talking? What y'all think?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. I do it all the time.
That's why my phone stay on D&D. Because you got to second guess if you want to call it second time.
Right. It must have been important.
Not for real. And if you call that third time, fourth time, it's like, all right, it must be important.
Right.
But you can still send a message, because I probably won't answer.
So I feel like lately, for me, I don't know. I work so much. Mm-hmm. I think I just don't be wanting to talk as much, or like, and then also, not gonna lie, every time I hear "not gonna lie," I think of it.
Not gonna lie.
Not gonna lie.
No, for real.
But I also think I just came through such a low season of like, going through all of these things, especially then when I'm going through stuff. I really don't want to talk to anybody, except for like people who I feel like are my support system in a way, which is like, y'all. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But I think that yeah, those times I really don't want to talk to people. But in general, like now, even though like stuff is a little better, I feel like I work so much, and I'm working on it now. Like it's like by the time I finish working, then I really don't want to be on the phone like that. Or even while I'm working throughout the day, I don't want to be on the phone like that for real. Unless, I don't know, I'm having like a productive conversation. Like we could get on the phone and talk about like different things, but I feel like on the phone with y'all, I feel like I always leave full.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
Vice
I feel like
versa.
I get what I need from any call, whether it's a goofy call, whether it's a call about business, a call about life. Sometimes we just call each other to ask each other questions, get opinions on
No,
stuff,
for
you
real.
know? But I feel like, yeah, so that's my take on it. But no offense to like, never mind. I guess it's like, it's no offense to like, I guess people we may not like talk to. It's
Yeah.
just more so like, maybe sometimes you just go through seasons where, and I know you want to be more to like yourself. Yeah.
And that's real. There's nothing wrong with being like that.
Yeah.
I don't think it's rude to ignore calls when you don't feel like it. Cause me personally, if I don't feel like it, I'm gonna be on the phone. You gonna be able to tell. I'm gonna be quiet. I don't feel like talking.
No, for real.
Y'all need to look. Feel like, okay, we've been on the
She
phone.
like-
for
No, but
3
I've been
seconds.
doing better.
No, you have.
You have.
Amen.
For sure.
But
She said y'all not gonna do me like
right,
that.
let's not do that. This
Say y'all
this
not gonna
podcast.
drag my name through the mud.
But no, I don't think it's rude. You know, we're human. We're not always gonna feel like talking. We're not always gonna feel like getting on the phone. We're human. You know.
That part.
Yeah, for sure. I don't think it's rude. I think as I'm learning about communication and how to improve it, I think just communicating to that person specifically that right now is just, you're just not in a space where you want to sit on the phone and have a conversation. And it could be a plethora of reasons. Like you can be
Okay, new
going
word.
through. That's not a new word.
New word for you?
You meant plethora.
You know what I meant.
A plethora.
I was trying to get my thoughts together.
amen.
But
Yeah.
plethora of reasons.
I'm about to add that to my dictionary.
Period.
So you could be going through so many things, and with that being said, it's like you don't have to always just sit on the phone communicating about what you're going through.
Right.
Some things like, and also being on the phone, it has to like, you have to leave full. It could be intentional about business. It could be intentional. I be sitting on the phone with my grandparents and stuff for 2 hours, just asking them questions about life, seeing what I can learn about them.
yeah.
So I'm not necessarily talking about business. I'm laughing because they be talking about how they
Yeah.
was in Freaknik and stuff like that.
But that's still leaving full,
Yeah,
though.
that's still leaving full. And so, it just depends on, everybody has their own interests. Everybody has something that interests them the most. So you have to find, when you're having a conversation with somebody, how can this conversation be productive, counterproductive to each other? That way we both are interested in the conversation and we both are curious about getting to know more about both of each other's point of views. So that's just really all it is. And I do believe that kind of go back to what I was saying in one of our episodes, that we need creativity and creating things in reality, and we need connection and we need cultivation. And so if you're living in your purpose and stuff, you honestly can't just always be on the phone. Like everybody that I'm around that's building something, they talk to their families. Like, for example, I always see Yanni, if her grandmom call her, if her little brother call her or something, she picks up and she lets them know, like, hey, I'm in the middle of doing something. So that's why I said, like, you communicate with the people what's going on. And that way you're not just leaving them stranded. And that way you're not ignoring them, but you letting them know, like, now isn't a good time. That's it.
Yes. And I liked what you said about telling them, because a lot of times, people will feel like, oh, you don't never answer the phone for me, but it's like, because I'm doing stuff, so that is something I've been trying to implement. Like, even with texting, like if somebody texts me a whole paragraph or it's something where I have to put more thought in my response, I would say, like, I'm doing something right now, I'm gonna respond to this in like 10 minutes, 20 minutes, and then we'll just continue talking about other stuff, and I'll just go back and answer when I have the time to think it out. But yeah, that's real, letting people know, like, I'm can't talk right now.
Nah, for sure.
And then
I gotta
I'm
work
staying
on
on
that
a
part.
boundary Like how we talked
You
about
do.
manipulation. Oh yeah.
We don't hear from Jada at all in the messages.
Right. She put one little exclamation point. That's
No,
it.
for real. You'll ask a question, exclamation. Like, what does that mean? Tell me.
Exactly.
I gotta work on my communication, but God's giving me grace.
She's like, heart.
Right, exactly. It's like that. I want to hear your thoughts.
No, for real.
Why y'all got so many questions? Truly, always got something to say.
Just answer the question.
Right.
Being difficult. But yeah, y'all, that's the end of this episode. We let us know, comment down, one word, comment down.
Communication, boundary, manipulation, friendships, fruits of the spirit.
We could do boundary.
Ooh, all of
We
that.
could do boundary. Comment if you made it this far. You're watching on YouTube. Comment boundary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Standing on boundaries.
Standing on boundaries.
Ooh, they could comment that, standing on boundaries.
Stand on boundaries.
Period. Nah,
Y'all better
for
go
sure.
comment it right now.
Nah, they actually been commenting for real.
Yeah, they do. I appreciate y'all.
And that be letting us know that y'all watching to the end, so we appreciate y'all for that.
Exactly.
And if you don't comment, then let this be the
If
first
you don't
video
comment,
do it.
cash up $1 to Growing Painz Pod to
you
donate.
owe us.
$1.
They
$1.
basically owe us.
They don't owe us nothing.
Basically, if they don't comment,
Look,
we gave
y'all.
them a task.
The fact that they even took the time out to watch.
Okay,
is
see,
enough.
it was a joke. Now you about to make me feel bad.
Look, y'all.
We trying to be very
Exactly.
in-depth.
Oh. Oh, look, y'all. Okay, real quick. We about to be funding our own podcast. So if y'all want to sow a seed or whatever, you know,
Send that money on.
You can send a seed to Growing Painz Pod. If you want to keep seeing this podcast go on,
For sure. Because we was almost on the verge of not knowing if we were going to move forward.
so but we still here because we love y'all.
There's money on our credit.
And one thing we're gonna do is we gonna show up every time.
For sure.
time.
And we'll get more into
Exactly.
that journey over time. But definitely, if you would like to donate, you could cash app Growing Painz.
We sound. We sound like, please, please, we want to keep going. We're begging you. Please sow a seed.
Yo, y'all are funny. It's like, please, just 70 cents.
Just a quarter.
Go find
Just
me.
a quarter.
1 penny.
Anything would help.
Look, y'all.
We can go button for button.
Look, stuff costs money, y'all. Okay. To produce a good podcast, stuff costs money.
Amen.
Bruh,
So-
imagine 300 views on an episode, $1
Everybody
a
just
piece.
send us $1, bro.
$1? Hey, all right, you're begging.
Not y'all, bro.
Or if anybody wants to sponsor us.
Y'all begging. No, you can't throw in a sponsor.
It's like, y'all just begging me. I am not sponsoring no begging podcast. Y'all is not using me for my money.
Oh, bruh. Oh.
Like, anything helps.
Bruh. Oh my gosh.
Please.
Y'all are funny.
All
Like I
right.
said, if y'all want to sow a seed, go and Painz Pod. That's our cash app.
Yo, in the episode, please.
All right, y'all.
That's our cash app.
The way that Jada keeps going.
She like, just to make sure.
Because all this laughing, you think we joking. We for real. Oh my God.
No, y'all laughing. Somebody just said, cool teach 82. Jada, send the website so I can sow a seed.
Aw,
Let me
thank you
comment,
so
Growing
much.
Painz
Shout out to
Pod.
that person.
Thank you so much. Oh, Lord.
All right, y'all. Make sure y'all are subscribed. Go stream it. Go stream on our audio platforms if you're not. Follow us on Instagram and TikTok. Growing Painz Pod. Don't forget the Z, okay? And y'all follow me, Yanni Pratcher, and support my Christian streetwear brands, okay? I know it's so many tags. We're
No, for
gonna have
sure.
to split this up. Literally. It's like you can go button for button.
Y'all are goofy. bruh. Oh my gosh.
Wise
Go
Label. Y'all can
ahead.
support my clothing brand, Wise Label.
Y'all can follow me at Royal Tre'Vion, and you can follow Royalty Made It if you want to.
Anyways,
If you want to share it.
y'all are ugly.
Go ahead.
Y'all can follow me at I am Jada Ellis on my personal and at Jael Official, and we have t-shirts, so buy them.
We out. That's it.
All right, bye, y'all.
Woo.